Hi guys, this video today will be about spellcasting and spell work. Now before I get started on this video, I would just like to make a disclaimer stating that this particular video is my own personal opinion. Not everybody is going to agree with me, some are going to heavily disagree, and some will obviously heavily agree. But at no point am I stating anything to be within this video is absolute fact that you have to follow. This is just my own personal path and the way I perform spells, spellcrafting, and my opinions on spellcasting altogether as I followed my path and as I have evolved on my path. So, this was actually a video request also from John Halliwell on YouTube, and he wanted to know a little bit more about it. So I can't really speak on the behalf of anybody else, obviously, other than myself. So I would just like to first and foremost say to everybody, take what you will from this video and leave the rest. It's just my personal practice. When it comes to spellcraft and spellcasting, there are many different ways that you can do it, depending on what path you follow and depending on how you have evolved on your path spiritually. For myself personally, obviously not too long ago I defined myself as Wiccan, so I had, and still do probably, incorporate a lot of the Wiccan principles of when it comes to spellcasting in my work. But that being said, I do not always choose to follow the do what thou will, harm ye none. I believe that there is a firm balance in life. I do believe what you send out will come back to you, but I don't believe that it is always completely unjust to perform a spell to send either some form of negative energy back to someone who has done something so bad or so wrong to you to start with. I don't believe that it is always fair to rely on karma to fix all of your problems and to see that that person gets justice. I think, you know, relying on karma is like relying on your friend up the road, always to do something for you when you can't do it yourself. Sometimes you do have to take matters into your own hands. There is a natural balance in life. You know, you have light, you have dark. And that comes with our personalities as well. We all have, you know, the beautiful light aspect of our personalities that we show to people every day, and then we have the dark elements of our personalities that when we're by ourselves we don't like people to see and that we don't like people to know about, and that I believe incorporates into our path on a daily basis. And which is why I guess in the sense that I decided to walk away from Wicca a little bit, because I just didn't quite agree with the continuance of a positive energy all the time and just healing and positive energy work. I do really believe that there has to be a very strong balance. So that being said, I don't go and do negative spells or negative rituals towards people on a daily basis, and I never would. But if I really felt the need that I could, I probably would. Now, when it comes to spell casting and crafting also, I tried to watch a few videos on YouTube about this just to see what other people were saying, and there really is a mixed bag of I guess teachings on YouTube and what other people feel is morally and ethically right when it comes to spell casting. Now, that being said, when it comes to the morals and ethics of spellcasting, you really have to look within yourself and what you believe personally before you can define yourself and define what your spells, if you think that your spells are going to be morally or ethically, you know, positive or negative, nobody else can justify that for you. You, the practitioner, must do that for yourself. Because I have watched a lot of videos out there, and there are a lot of people that say, for example, that you can do spells on a bus. Now, I actually think this may have been written in one of Christopher Penczak's books, that it really is that easy, and that he'd been criticised by other witches because you can just do a spell on a bus. Now, I couldn't disagree with that more. To me, doing a spell on a bus it's a thought form, and it's a very low form of sympathetic magic. It's not a spell. In my personal opinion, doing a spell is is grounding, is centering, is focusing, it is preparing for that spell. It is really sitting down and focusing your will, your intent, and all the power you have within inside you to manifest that desire. And I don't believe that that can be done on a bus. Just, I think, I wouldn't mind to have a little bit more money. Yeah, I'm just, no, it's not going to work. And if it does work, as apparently Christopher Penczak says it does, well, yay, great. But has he won the lottery, or has he, has he got everything in life that he possibly wants? I probably would think not. I think those low forms of what I term sympathetic magic may bring you small portions of what you need at the time. Like, you may have a outstanding phone bill that you haven't paid, and so you'll get that $150. But when it comes to something, say that you're that you're $10,000 in debt and you really need help from the bottom of your heart. It's not that you just want it, it's not a want, but it's something that you genuinely need. I truly feel that you can't do a spell on a bus or just a random spell in the street to do that. You really have to focus everything you have as a practitioner to manifest the energy for that spell to come into fruition. It's just not something that can be done easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I believe that a lot of authors out there try and glamorize spell work and make it seem like, oh, it's just so easy and can be done just so easily, and I really don't believe that it can. I believe it's very silly to say, I would never even do a spell on a bus. If you don't have the time in the day to be doing a spell, and that you feel that you need to make it that easy, well, don't do the spell. Wait till you have the time that you can sit out in nature like I am now. Prepare yourself for that spell. Anyway, another element of spell work and spellcraft is the tools and the items you need. Again, you don't need everything to properly perform a spell or ritual. However, like I've said in my previous videos, they certainly help. For some people, especially people who are novices, having your athame, or having your candle and your cauldron, it really helps focus all of that intent and power that you need to manifest within yourself to send out to bring that spell into fruition. People that are a little bit more adept in spellcraft, they're not going to need all of that. I could sit here now and I could just very, very easily focus all of my intent that I wanted and send it out into the universe. But then again, I'm sitting in a place that I can, that I consider to be magical anyway. It's a certain tree next to my house, and if I believed in fairies, I would believe that fairies live in this tree because it's so beautiful. When I do spells, sometimes I will really, really ritually prepare for a spell. I will have a cleansing bath. I will prepare everything right down to a T. I will get all of my herbs ready, my candles, any corresponding items and tools that I feel will help me with that spell. I will prepare my circle, I will clean my ritual space, I will do the works. And then other times I will do spontaneous spells where I really feel, and I guess other people would feel this too, you really feel you have the power within yourself at that very moment, and you have to do it right then and there. But that being said, I just still do not do it out in public or on a bus. I'm generally at home, and I think, some days where you just feel, it's like days when you feel very sensual, you feel very sexy within yourself. Some days you just feel like you have a power, and you just have to manifest it somehow. So some days I will just do a very spontaneous spell. And with those spells, if I don't have the herbs that I need, this is actually, I brought it out here for this reason, I'll get rid of that. The Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. There have been plenty of times that I haven't had the appropriate herbs that I need to do a spell. So I've had to just work with what I have around me. And, being that I live in the Australian bush, we don't have a lot of herbs that just grow naturally like in the UK or the US, but I am lucky enough just to have a few. So I've gone and picked those. Of course, if I'm not sure what corresponding meanings and magical properties are, I'll look it up in my book and I will use that as an appropriate tool for the spell. Or a tarot card. If I don't have one element of a spell, you can incorporate it with a tarot card or incorporate it with something else. I do think that to an extent, the most important steps of spell crafting are You must be grounded and centered. If your mind is all over the place, if you can't think properly for the day, or for for a whole 10 minutes, you can't think properly to cast a spell that you want to manifest and send out into the universe. You have to properly ground, center, and meditate yourself before you start any form of spellcraft. And your intent, the way you visualize, and the intent and the power that you manifest is so very important in spellcraft. You can't just do a spell half-heartedly, because it will not work. And bringing a spell into fruition is the projection of your intent and that manifestation out into the universe. It is more complicated, I believe, than a lot of people make it sound, spell work and spellcraft. But you really don't need... oh, something just fell on my head. I hope that bird didn't just crap on my head. That would be nice. The biggest steps to remember in spellcraft, the power, everything you need to cast a spell is within yourself already. You are the master and the person that essentially creates that divine energy and power source to bring a spell into fruition. So you could walk out of your house when you've watched this video now, or go to your room if you don't have the luxury of being able to go outside, and do a very simple spell now to connect with yourself, to connect with your higher purpose, for self-love. They're all spells that you can just do on a daily basis for yourself, that you don't need props, candles, and all the rest. You just need yourself. And that, to me, and in my personal opinion, that is the most important element of spellcraft. You. And the power that you have within inside yourself. And the belief in yourself, and the belief in what you're trying to make manifest and bring to fruition. If you don't believe in yourself, and if you don't believe that the spell can work, it won't work. It really is a power and a belief within yourself as a practitioner. So, there's my very short video on spellcrafting and spellcasting. I will be making another series of videos, I've decided actually, looking at correspondences, planetary hours, herbal correspondences, calendar correspondences, days of the week. I will elaborate a little bit further on that in some future videos. I just don't have the time to do it right at this very second, but I will certainly do it for you, and for you also, John. But just as a very basic video on spellcrafting and spellcasting, that's my opinion. If anybody has an opinion or would like to do a video response, please feel free. And I will leave comments open for this video, but I do ask respectfully and kindly, if you do or don't agree with my personal opinions, please don't write nasty comments. It's really unproductive. I'm not asking other people to tell me how great I am. That's not what I'm looking for. But I ask that if you have an issue that you'd like to debate about the video, please post it, but post it in a nice way. I really don't feel that unproductive comments really get us nowhere. And by all means, if you watch this video and you like it, please subscribe. So until next time, I will talk to you all soon. Many blessings.